Greetings, brothers and sisters. Shalom, shalom, Rastafari. This is Ross Corey. Today is Sunday, February 12th. Got through with Sabbath. I'm gonna talk about this little peace and love thing between a Rastafari and our so-called poser of a Rastafarians. You can look at Peter 1, verse 17, chapter 4. Peter 1, chapter 4, verse 17. It talks about the judgment began at the house of God. So all the judgment began at the house of the God. I want to touch on this peace and love. That's what Rasta's always preaching, but it's not what Rastafari's are preaching. Rastafari is preaching righteousness and judgment, not peace and love. The peace and love thing got to be dealt with whenever it's confronted by Rastas. Rastas are going around talking peace and love to everyone, but true Rastafaris are preaching and proclaiming righteousness and judgment to our enemies and so-called friends, or so-called people who aren't maybe the same color or our kind. Black folks are lost in the wisdom of this because it's not about peace and love when you fighting for your righteousness or the God Almighty, Yahweh. You can look at Jeremiah 2:33, Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 33. Look this up and you can just get a message of what this peace and love is about. Rastafarians are not peace and love. We're death to black and white oppressors that's fighting, that's oppressing us or down pressing us. It's been going on 500 years to the day. So everybody need to get their head together. You know what I mean? And just call on Jah Rastafari, Haile Selassie, God Almighty, the true Trinity, defender of the faith, Ethiopian Christian Orthodox Christ. This is hard to try to explain this to y'all Christians because y'all won't never get this. But all y'all will sooner or later. We're living in Revelation's time. This is Ross Corey and Jah Rastafari. Shalom, shalom. This is Ross Corey. This goes out to all my brothers and sisters out here that I'm trying to show them the way of Rastafari. This is like an introduction of what I'm trying to promote here in this Babylon town, Macmillan, Tennessee. I had a lot of questions about people that come and ask me what a Rasta is, the difference between a Christianity of a Rasta or a Christian and a Rasta. Really, all I can tell you is just show you what I know is what's been taught to me from different many people that's a Rastafarians. I'm the founder here in Macmillan, Tennessee of the Rasta community, or trying to make a Rasta community. Here's an introduction. We must look to the Almighty Jah, thank God, who has raised man above creatures and endowed him with reasoning and intelligence. We must at all times put our trust and faith in him, and he will never desert us or permit us to destroy ourselves or humanity. That he created us in his image. We must become something we have never been before. We must become bigger, that we have never been, greater in spirit, more courageous and larger in the outlook, as his majesty said. We must overcome the petty prejudice, even if the height of the history is heavy, owing our ultimate dedication, not any nation or country, but to all fellow men within the human community, and become a member of a new race, the true race, the human race. We see what His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie is saying, that us Africans and all black people, we was born Rastafarians. You just lost your culture when you was brainwashed here in America. So many of us few have took the Willie Lynch chip out of our head and try to come with the regionalist culture of your identity is Africa, Ethiopia. Before it was named Africa, it was Ethiopia. but the Bible took that out. It's in there 36 times in the King James Bible. Um, I'm gonna tell you what it is. What is a Rastafarian? Since this was the introduction, now I'm telling you what is a Rastafari or a Rastafarian. Rastafari is a movement of black people who know that is the birthplace of Africa, of all mankind. It is the 20th century manifestation of God that enlightened our pathway toward righteousness and therefore worthy in reference. Rastafari recognized Africa as the central origin of religious history, culture, science, and technology. Africa symbolized the scriptures of Ethiopia or Ethiopia. It is mentioned magnificent in the many Africans that is calling us home, the continent which our ancestors were taken by force more than 300 years ago during slavery. The Black Holocaust that called has never been felt more deeply than by members of the Rastafarian faith. Rastafari wants all people, especially black people, to know that we are Africans and need to develop a sense of pride and integrity in ourselves, knowing that our heritage is the noblest of mankind, and we are in fear of no man. Okay, what I'm telling you there is Ethiopia is the land of our mother or father in Africa, mother Ethiopia. Um, Ethiopia is the only country in Africa that has never been colonized by any outside force or Babylon force or Caucasian. Mm. They tried 4 times since 1932 to try to come in and take over the last land of Africa. But Haile Selassie and Menelik, the father, in 1890 and 1932 defeated Mussolini. They was using tear gas, but the Lion of Judah conquered everything. He should break every chain. See, us Rastas, we are the real Africans that was left over from dropped off here in Jamaica. See, Jamaica was the only Rastas. People getting it confused with Jamaica. See, Africa, the slaves got dropped off in the Caribbean or West Indies. Until and the leftover slaves started calling themselves Maroons. Them right there was the slaves that didn't listen much and ran to the bush, the mountains, and took and made their hair a long appearance, and that was a real reasoning why us Rastas here in America, Miami and New York, the headquarters in Brooklyn, New York, Haile Street, EWF, Ethiopian World Federation, Line of Judah. My teacher is Rasta Tafari or Yadin or Wadin Yadin. Um, he has taught me so much about being a Rasta that it's hard to explain to some people what a Rasta is. They think it's a joke here, or you're crazy to believe in it was a black Christ, or how can it be a black Christ when y'all became slaves and so much is burden is on us? But the good book said all his people from Israel should reap and get everything that happened to them. All the Babylons and Anglo-Saxons of America will, or all over the world, will perish, brimstone and fire. When you talk about brimstone and fire, that's what's going on with black people today, shooting guns. That's brimstone and fire. Well, there's more to it than that. If you need some questions, and I can show you much, much more of the society that I'm in. Um, it's called LOJ Society, the Millennium College Courses of Haile Selassie Universe. Um, you can prepare your studies in the dimension ancient Ethiopian culture, maintaining integrity of Ethiopia, which is divine heritage, by my teacher Rasta Safari for the Ethiopian World Federation Corporation, the Local 33, Special Education of Fine Arts. You can get all this and teach yourself what it really means to be one, especially blacks.